Alright, so let's say I want to now do this orange line and this magenta line right here. So I've written an equation that I think models the orange line, and I've entered it into my program, and I've graphed it, and it looks pretty good, but there's a teeny tiny little gap right there. You could fill that in with a line as we did over here, but another thing I could do is I could adjust my inequality a little bit. This ellipse right here is going all the way over. It's only not showing the left side of that because I've told it to stop. So from what I've done before, I already know that that x value is 35. So if I go back to my program, rather than using a line, what I could do is I could adjust that inequality. I've told it to only graph it at 35 and to the right. But if I let it go a teeny tiny bit more to the left, it might fill that gap for me. So if I go there and change that x greater than or equal to, instead of 35, choose a value a little bit to the left. So like 34.5 might be good, and then test that, see how it goes. You might end up with something that looks a lot better. So it's going to graph that, then it's going to go through and graph all my other stuff in the order I have it listed, and voila, that fixed the problem. But now let's look at how we can make this purple line come in and stop perfectly right there. So go ahead and find an equation that models that purple line. Again, it looks like maybe it's an ellipse, maybe it's a circle. Use the same ideas we've been using already to come up with an equation for that. So I've entered my equation that models the ellipse that I found there, but I've got this overlap, and if you look on our image, we don't have any overlap there. So I need to tell my graph to stop graphing at whatever that x value is. So I can look up here and I can approximate that x value as we did before. So let's move our cursor up to that spot and let's try our best to approximate its x value. So it looks like our x value stops at about 46.6. So I can go into my program and I can tell that ellipse that I just have graphed, I can tell it to graph only to the right of 46.6. So let's do so by adding our restriction. Oop, too far. So divided by parentheses x second math is our test. I only want things that are greater than or equal to whatever value I just said. I think 44.6 is what I said. Maybe I just messed that up. I don't know. We'll see in a moment, because I can test it and see if my restriction just did the trick. So let's graph it and see, and I must have been totally off because that is not anywhere close. But look, I can hit the on button and that's going to stop it graphing wherever it is, and let's figure out what I did wrong, because apparently I didn't choose the right value. I think it was 46.6. Yeah, that looks better. What is that x value right there? 46.6 is what it was. My bad. So program, edit. You should definitely take notes while you're doing it. Scribble things down so you can adjust as you need to. So not 44.6, but greater than or equal to 46.6 should be what we are looking for here. So second quit. Check it now. Hopefully it will be looking a little bit better for us. And boom, that looks pretty much perfect right there, and we can see the shape of Pepe starting to take place, and that looks pretty good so far. And I think that will be the end of this video, and possibly the end of the videos for now. As problems arise, maybe I'll make more videos, but hopefully you have a pretty good idea of how we're going to go about this project so far.